Have you been to Thailand previously? Did you fall in love with the country? Are you wondering about the possibility of making it your home, or at least staying for an extended period of time? In today's video, we're going to look at the different Thai visa options that are currently available. Hi, I'm Andrew, and this is Always on a Journey. Are you seriously considering moving to Thailand at some point in the near future? If that's you, what I want to do is share some information with you about the visa options that are currently available. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail with regards to the application process. I'm just going to highlight the different options that are available just to familiarise you with each option. But before I do that, it's really important that I make you aware with Thailand, as we all know, things can change at little to no notice. So any information that I'm sharing with you today in this video, it is accurate, but depending on when you find and watch this video, that information might have changed. So my suggestion is, before you ever make any decisions, check the Thai embassy website in your country or the country that you're going to be travelling from. And also there's a website which is called ASEAN Now. I've left the link in the description. It used to be known as thaivisa.com. Check that website because there's a lot of people with really valuable, useful, up-to-date information that they can share with you. Okay, the first option that I'd like to mention is visa exemption. If you have a look on the screen now, I'm showing you a list of countries that are entitled to the visa exemption. Currently, with visa exemption, you can enter Thailand and stay for up to 45 days. Previously, that was 30 days, but because of the current situation, that was extended a few months back to 45 from 30 to accommodate for anyone who needed to stay in ALQ or ASQ for 14 days. Or, with the current situation, it also accommodates people who need to stay in one of the sandbox schemes for at least 14 days, such as Phuket Sandbox or Samui Plus. One thing I want to mention to you about travelling to Thailand, when you book your flights, it's really important that you book a return flight. Say, for example, you're travelling to Thailand on the 45-day visa exemption. You must book your return flight, which shows you're going to leave Thailand within that 45-day period. I'm pretty certain with most airline check-in staff, if you are unable to show proof of your return flight, I'm pretty certain that you would be denied boarding. Then there's a few options in addition to the visa exemption which you'll need to apply and pay for. As I mentioned before, I'm not going to go into too much detail about the application process, but depending on the response that I get from you, if I see that there's common questions that are being asked about a specific visa, then in the future I'll look to make another separate video about that specific visa. Right, the next option that I want to mention to you is the tourist visa. You apply for the tourist visa in your own country, or in normal times you can apply in a country that you're travelling in. For example, in the past I've applied for a tourist visa in London, but when I was in Bali, I also applied for a tourist visa in Bali. With the tourist visa, that costs round about £35 and that gives you 60 days in Thailand. And once you're in Thailand, that's also extendable as well. So usually what you can do is you can pay 1,900 Thai baht, and once you're in immigration, they'll extend that and put an extension stamp in your passport for an additional 30 days. Now that's the single entry option. Alternatively, you can get a multiple entry tourist visa, which is valid for 6 months. And this costs a little bit more. It's about £150. And how that works, it allows you to stay in Thailand in one period for a maximum of 60 days. Then Before the 60 days is up, you then need to leave Thailand and re-enter again, and then you can stay for an additional 60 days. With both of these visas at the moment, there's actually a COVID extension in place where what you can do is you can actually go to immigration and you can pay for a 60-day extension rather than just a 30-day extension. And that's the same price. I believe that's 1,900 baht as well. Okay, then the next visa that I want to talk about is the Non-Immigrant B Visa. This visa is for anyone who plans to work in Thailand. Previously, when I worked in a school, this is the visa that I had. And what happens, the school or the company that offer you the job, they prepare all of the paperwork and they help you to sort out the Non-Immigrant B Visa. This is valid for 1 year, and you also get a work permit in line with that, which just confirms that you're eligible to work within the country. Then every year, the paperwork is then prepared by the school or the company again, and then you go through the same process with a visit to immigration. Next, we've got the education visa. If you have a look up here, I actually made a video about the education visa application process and what it includes a couple of weeks ago. With this visa, it allows you to stay in Thailand for 1 year as a student, and there's a few different options available. You can learn a language, you can learn Thai, maybe Chinese or German, and I'm sure there's probably other languages that you can learn as well. In my situation, I'm currently here staying on an education visa, and that allows me to study for 200 hours within a year. Broken down, that works out at 4 hours a week. At the moment, I study 2 hours on a Tuesday and 2 hours on a Thursday, and this costs 30,000 baht. Then every 90 days, I need to go back to immigration to report and get an additional stamp in my passport, and that costs an extra 1,900 baht for each extension. And I'm sure there's a few other options available as well with the education visa, which I don't know that much about. But I'm sure you can study martial arts such as Muay Thai, or you can learn how to do Thai cooking, and there's probably other options available as well. Then there's the retirement visa. I'm not eligible for this yet, but I'm moving closer to the age. You need to be at least 50 years or older to apply for the retirement visa, and this costs 5,000 baht for a 1 year visa, and there's a few things that you require. You need to have a minimum of 800,000 Thai baht in a Thai bank account, or you need to be earning a minimum of 65,000 Thai baht every month. And if you go for the second option, the 65,000 Thai baht a month, you need to have a legal letter which confirms this from your home country. In addition to this, you also need to take out medical insurance to cover you for the duration of your stay. Now, I did a poll in the community section on YouTube recently, and it looks like the majority of people who responded are more interested in the retirement visa. So I'm sure at some point in the next couple of weeks, what I'll do is I'll do a video about the retirement visa, and I'll go into more detail about the application process. Another option that's available is the marriage visa. Now, when you're in Thailand, you might meet someone and you might fall in love and decide to get married. If you do go down the route of the marriage visa, you need to have a minimum of 400,000 Thai baht in a Thai bank account, or you need to be earning at least 40,000 Thai baht a month from your home country. And again, the same as the retirement visa, you need a legal letter from your country that confirms that you earn this amount of money per month. Next on the list, we've got the business visa, and I can't pretend to know much about this. What I do know, based on the research that I've done, is to apply for this, you need to have a minimum of 2 million baht. Now, a subscriber actually left a comment and he said that he was in Chicago and he checked with the embassy in the United States of America and he said that the amount is 3 million baht. So I'm going to do a little bit more digging to find out a little bit more information about that. And in addition, I believe that you need to be employing a minimum amount of Thai staff, which I think is 4. But I'll look into that and share more details with you when I know more about it. And the next option is the Thailand Elite Visa. With the Elite Visa, this allows you to stay in Thailand for either 5, 10 or 20 years. And usually with any other visa, you need to report to immigration every 90 days. With the Thailand Elite Visa, the elite staff will take care of that for you. And I think you just need to check in once a year. This visa is a multiple entry visa, so in normal situations you'd be free to come and go in and out of Thailand whenever you need to. Now the prices differ depending on the length of time you want to stay for. If you choose to go for the 5-year elite visa, that would cost 600,000 Thai baht. If you decide to stay for 10 years, that's 800,000 Thai baht. With the 20-year visa, I'm not sure about this because the information that I found is you would pay 2 million Thai baht. But when I think about the 10-year visa and the 20-year visa, that doesn't sound very logical to me. So again, I'll look into that in a little bit more detail and share that with you. Now, obviously, I know from experience that all of these visa options can be really overwhelming and quite confusing. I've got a suggestion to make for you. Say, for example, you are deciding that you want to try living in Thailand. My suggestion would be don't jump in at the deep end immediately. I would probably say apply for a 60-day tourist visa, which gives you the 60 days, and then you can do a 30-day or currently a 60-day extension. So you're going to have 90 or 120 days. And for most people, that's probably a good amount of time just for you to start feeling familiar, starting to feel settled and feeling at home. And then you'll be in a better position to decide whether this is something that you want to do long term. If that's the case, then I would probably say the first thing you can do is apply for the education visa. I've been here for 6 years and my Thai's still not that good, but I do think learning a little bit of Thai is definitely valuable. So you can do that for 1 year, and I'm sure you can do a second or possibly a third year. Check with the school if you do decide you want to do the education visa, and they'll tell you at the time how many years you can study for. Alternatively, you could again enter on the 60-day tourist visa and you might find a job. And then once you've got the job, as I said earlier, the company that you work for, they would prepare all the paperwork for you and then you get yourself a Non-Immigrant B Visa. But for anybody who's over 50, I think the retirement visa would probably be the best option. With the retirement visa, you can pay the 5,000 baht every year and then just reapply every year for that. Once I'm 50 and if I decide to stay in Thailand, that's definitely the route that I would take. And that's it. Those are the main visas that are available to you. And there might be something else that I've missed. But as I said earlier, if you have made the decision to come and live in Thailand, don't just take what I've said in this video as accurate. Please check your local Thai embassy for up-to-date information, and also check the ASEAN Now website for up-to-date information. There's lots of people on there who've got a great amount of information to share with you. I hope this was useful, and if you do have any questions, as always, leave me a comment in the description. I might not have the answer for you immediately, but I'll definitely do my best to find the answer for you, or somebody else who's watching might be able to share some information with you. Thanks for watching and have a good day.